As we talk about some other drill work, the next important thing is their stance. It's pretty important that they have the proper stance from there. Get comfortable. 90% of your weight is on your front foot. And again, we're always going to have our inside foot up, but 90% of that weight is on your front foot. Nipple over knee over toe. All right, nipple over knee over toe, and then both heels are off the ground, head on a swivel and hands. Can we dim the lights on this one?
Yep.
Okay. So we see it, and we'll talk about a few different things before we get to drill work. Okay. So we're going to see a couple cats. You're going to see the nipple over knee over toe. All right, and he's not in the stance yet because he's a rocker. I allow that because he was really good. Okay. You're going to see that aspect. You're going to see they're going to be a forward lean. They're not too far on the ground. They're out. Their inside foot's always to the ball, no matter where they're at. To keep their shoulders square and things of that sort. Now, hands is always a big question for us receivers. What do we do with their hands? It doesn't make a difference. If he's off, right? If he's off, it doesn't make a difference. Right? You can have him by your side. If you're here, that's okay. I don't like him here. If some guys put him up there because guys tend to stand up too tall and your nipples aren't over your knees, over your toes. Right? We want to be able to roll over. I want to key this guy because that's going to be our man-to-man guy. We see a pressed corner, things start to happen a little bit different for us. All right? You're going to start to narrow up your stance a little bit. So again, it's 60-40. We'll talk about it. One thing that you're going to notice too is that his wrists are always above the defender's wrists. Always. In man-to-man. And we'll talk about that here when we get the drill work. But we see typical stance, we go from there. That man-to-man stance is what we call a bunch stance. Alright, so we have our basic stance, day one, receiver stuff, and then we have a bunch stance that we'll go over. Alright, slightly closer or tighten your stance. Alright, so it gets a little bit there so you can go side to side. You have some lateral movement, 60%, 40%. Guys, those are numbers. I can't measure that. So you just got to have a feeling for what feels comfortable for that kid. Alright, quicker to bring the feet parallel position and foot fire. We'll talk about that from there. So the drill we use, we'll pop the lights back on. Alright, the drill we're going to use is a stance progression that we use every single season, off season. Young guys, old guys, they get this all the time. So we explain to them that playing receiver is the closest thing to a track athlete, and they love it because they want to be fast. Okay, so we're going to get down to the stance, and we're going to say balls to the wall. All right, we're going to get down to the stance, and the first drill we're going to do is we're going to have a heel to knee relationship. All right, we're going to have a heel to knee relationship, just like if they're running track. Right, they're doing those stance. There's some track kids play baseball, slow as heck, so I apologize if it looks really bad. All right, but we're going to sit there, we're going to say, ready, set, go. It's pretty simple. So we're going to sit there, and on his ready, he's going to get up. All right, and he's going to feel those nipples over his nose, over his toes. All right, set, he's going to get hands up if he needs to. Otherwise, he's just going to get ready and really recoil this, all right, to go. And then go will be a next progression, but we'll do this 2 or 3 times so he has understand, and he can understand his balance and what he's doing. All right, and we'll go to some man-to-man stuff where we'll bring it a little bit tighter. So then on your man-to-man stuff, it's going to be on your instep with your knee. So has him start, then you get there, and he's going to be here, and it's a little tighter, a little compact, but we still want to have some weight on that front leg. All right, that's a simple stance progression that we're going to do. All right, everything's going to carry over, and so we see it and do it. It's simple, easy. Now that's it. That's all we ever do is talk about stance. If a kid starts struggling and he starts getting here and that leg gets tight on him, we'll go back through that stance progression. If he gets too high, we watch film and we say, you're getting too high. All right, go back into what you're doing, and it's got to be comfortable. Taller kids, all right, may lean over more because they got longer legs and all that sort of stuff. All right, shorter kids, maybe shorter. All right, so we see it, and hopefully we can play it. Oop. All right, let's go to, you see typical stance, and then we will, get the lines again. We'll talk about starts. I just want to keep and key typical starts. So you see nipple over knee over toe across the board. Everyone's an off. All right, everyone's an off from here. And you're going to see starts, and something we're going to talk about. All right, is watch how they roll over their front knee. There's no wasted space. All right, now he's got a false step. And again, understand that's the same kid we talked about before. All right, you see the top guy, he's actually pretty good. He might be our best one. There's no wasted movements, and his first aspect is vertical. He turns his foot out a little bit, and it is what it is. Some guys are going to be quirky. Again, I'm not going to be a stickler with this is how you got to do it, what's comfortable and how we do some stuff. All right, how do we do it? All right, so we start to progress from the stance, and we start working starts. Okay, so we'll hit the light up again. All right, so we work starts with that stance and then to our start. So we see it, our next progression on that go is ready, set, go, and then we're going to start rolling off, and it's going to be a 5-yard start. What we're looking for on the start is him rolling over that heel and really winding that thing through to make it happen and pushing vertical. All right, so we put that together. We're going to want to get 5 yards as fast as we can. We're going to want to get 5 yards as fast as we can in how we do it. Now, if a kid is struggling with rolling over his knee, a lot of the biggest thing kids want to do is sit and then relax. All right, so you see a kid, the biggest problem, he's going to recoil and then he's going to try to go. Right, if that happens, we're just going to go into falling starts. All right, so again, he's here, he's already here, he wanted his progression, he's in that aspect, he's going to do falling starts, so he's going to understand how much weight he can put on. Obviously, if you've done track work, it's that falling starts over the top, boom, and he's going to hammer that thing and go and really bring that foot farther through and make that go vertical. So he can realize how much it is, because most of the time when he drops his hips, it's because he's got most of his weight on his back leg. All right? Put that weight on your front leg, fire over it, and make it happen. Okay? Any questions on stance and starts? Pretty simple shit. Okay? Releases. That's the next key. I really think that's what makes or breaks these guys as far as how good they are and do that. When we talk releases, we're going to talk about stem, stack, to score. Those are 3 things we're going to talk about. All right? Set up the defender, which is man-to-man, attack vertically on your zone. So get there on your zone or go man-to-man. Make eye contact with the defender. All right, we stole this from the Cowboys. Michael Irvin was pretty good. He said he looked the guy in the eyes and he could do this and look and keep running and do some cool stuff. All right, and see it. If you can see the guy in the eyes, just like you're playing basketball, he's going to look at you as soon as you give him a head nod, he's gone. All right, on that stem, and we'll talk about some of those things. All right, eliminate cushion, yes, no kidding. All right, get hip to hip, that's our stem. Attack this technique, get to hip to hip, we'll talk about that. All right, turn the defender's shoulders, that's a stack. And then when it becomes stack, we go now to our one-on-one. So we see basic, we're going to key up this young man here to the top. And this is where it's going to be a stem technique. So he's got space. He's going to come down and cover 2. He's going to stem him inside to release out. All right, and so we'll talk about a few drills after that, but I want to see what you're talking about. Boom, boom. See his stem inside, you just saw it. All right, it's that one step that makes it seem like he's coming inside, and the defender's hips get locked up. So we see it right there, boom, in and out, and he released with the swim, and we'll talk about that. But he got him to come inside. All right, on cover 2, know what your defense is doing. They want me inside. All right, they want me inside. So if they want me inside, as soon as he goes, he's going to step, and then we can get back outside and get on the line. Obviously, we're able to get out and do some stuff. All right, now you see, more of, again, you're going to see the stack stuff. Excuse me. All right, you're going to see the stack stuff out of this slot right here. All right, you're going to see the stack. It's man-to-man. We all see it's man-to-man. All right, we'll talk through it. We all see it's man-to-man, and he's going to stack him, and the tight's going to help. We see it. He's going to work. You're going to see him get inside to get stacked, and then he's going to run down the lane. We're running 4 verticals here. That's the route you're going to see. You're going to see him come inside, watch technique. All right, he just beats him with speed, but our stack happens at the end. All right, our stack happens more at the top of the route with the vertical. All right, you're going to see it from here as we get going, and you'll see him coming through. All right, the picture you're going to see is our guy is going to be right on top of his. We'll let it go through, and the stem is for zone, stack is for man-to-man to beat him on a fade or a vertical or what have you. You see the couple length of the picture here. So eyes, you see that picture where boom, the defender's directly behind him, all right, and he can go. We don't want the defender on the hip. We do not want the defender on the hip. The defender's on the hip, he can come and do whatever we want to. We want to be what we say, hip to hip. And again, we'll talk drills with it as far as how we go, because that's what we're here.